Hi everyone, it's me Ace here, back at you again with another review, and this one is on Control. This was a request by my lovely girlfriend Tammy, so with that said, let's head into the review. We take control of Jesse Faden, the new director of the FBC. This stands for the Federal Bureau of Control, although I can think of many other things to make it stand for. She was chosen to be the new director of the FBC after the deceased director. Prior to this, Jessie and her brother Dylan accidentally released some paranatural forces which caused all the adults in their hometown to disappear. The FBC arrived, and now in the present time, Jessie is seeking the whereabouts of her brother. The FBC is a government organisation which investigates altered items and objects of power to better understand and control them. Now, this to me sounds like the plot point of a movie. I understand what the story is trying to tell, as it's really easy to pick up early on, but as you progress it turns into a bit of a mess. The story for me didn't pique my interest at any given point, and I didn't feel any investment in any of the characters. Aside from one NPC I found who was stuck staring at a fridge because everyone else forgot about him. What a great fucking company! Leave someone to stare at a fridge or he'll die. Other NPCs include Emily Pope, Casper Darling, Simon Arish, Helen Marshall, and Artie. Not much of interest to say about these characters, and out of all of them, Artie is definitely the most interesting. They are just a generic selection of people who you go to ask questions and get answers. The storyline for this game can throw you through a lot of loops and just leave you with more questions than you had answers. This is great, as I personally like the psychological aspect that the game represents to us. However, if you don't like that, then you aren't going to pay much attention to what's going on. I didn't, because it is just plain fucking boring. Because of the amount of back and forth stuff that happens throughout the story, I'm limited in what I can explain, as I'm trying to avoid as many spoilers as possible. After clearing most of the generic chapters that just have you running around like a fucking lab rat, you might come across a part of the story that is really good. For me, this part was solving the ashtray maze. It was phenomenal. It was exciting, trippy as hell, and has a great fucking soundtrack while you are traversing it. Why wasn't there more of this in the game? Sadly, after that you go back to the standard story, which is a disappointment. I mentioned this in the story section, as you can only do this in chapter 8, which sucks. I also found the ending incredibly lackluster, and with what happened it made me wonder to myself, was all this time I dedicated to the game worth it? I'd have to say no, but I'm sure other people can get into this story. But I just couldn't. I'm not saying it's a bad story, but there definitely was not enough good about it. Rating for this story is a 4 out of 10. So, with the gameplay section, I didn't really know what to think of it at first. It wasn't until I got further into it that I realised that this game just feels like a reskinned Star Wars game without the lightsabers. The weapon that has unlimited ammo and just needs to recharge without being fired, the powers of telekinesis to throw objects at enemies, the third person perspective to see around walls, the RNG bullshit of hoping you get decent new upgrade rewards. You get the idea. You can't blame me for thinking of Star Wars, but that said, it's really well executed. And no, that wasn't a Star Wars reference. I do like the service weapon a lot, and for good reason. Having no ammo means you can change the shape of your gun into something else to change how it works. You get the default pistol form to start off with, which is called grip, but from there you can get scatter, which is the shotgun, the spinner, which is a machine gun, pierce, which is a railgun, charge, which is some sort of ranged explosive, and surge, which is some sort of sticky explosive. This makes it fun because I like being able to change my weapon as and when I want to, and because of no ammo, I can keep killing all the hiss without having to worry about where my ammo is going to come from. The hiss are the main enemies of this game, or as I call them, the piss. As in, piss off and leave me the fuck alone. Every time I'm trying to do something, these flying fuckers spawn out of nowhere and I have to kill them all. Sadly, there isn't any real variety of enemy types aside from the standard ones. My favourite are the invisible ones, as it makes for fun combat, and you never know when you're going to find them. The opportunity to make some genuinely interesting enemies here is great. Too bad that got bypassed for the generic selection. The navigation of this game isn't great either. The map is my greatest annoyance, as it is not fucking clear. There are some parts where you'll be walking around and you'll bring up the map and the red marker will appear somewhere outside the map boundary. It's also one of the biggest clusterfucks I've ever seen. Not as bad as the map in Nier Automata, but this is definitely second behind it. The abundance of gameplay here is mainly related to the puzzles. I liked some of the puzzles in the game as they were fun, others I found boring, and certain ones just pissed me right off. The Ocean View Motel puzzles were a combination of all three things. While it does try a lot to push the imagination boundary, it fails miserably to do so and keeps running into a fucking brick wall. Which, coincidentally, was something that I did a fair bit. The controls are a little bit unresponsive, and I found that changing the sensitivity didn't really change that. As a result, I often ended up running into walls while trying to turn tight corners. There should be a take a medication button for the amount of headaches I probably gave to Jesse. Throughout the game, you'll get these activities called bureau alerts. This is just a notification saying enemies are in a certain area and you have the option to go and kill them. Nothing wrong with that, except the timing can get very frustrating. During the final boss fight, I was knee deep into killing some hiss, and the next thing I know, I'm getting a fucking bureau alert, and I got killed because of it. This was a pile of bullfuck. Seriously, why am I getting these during the main story missions? I'm dealing with enough already. I don't need the fucking bureau alerts. Why couldn't it just be in the free roam? It's fucking bullshit. Anyway, along with the main missions, you also get the side missions which you'll need to do to get points to upgrade your abilities, which is a must-have, otherwise you're going to die a lot. Some of these are really fun and actually do a good job of pushing some great ideas, and others are just more generic boss fights. The weapon and the character mods are easy enough to understand what they are, and what they do. Different rarities mean better mods. Some of these include damage buffs to the weapon modes and health buffs for Jesse. Nothing special to note about any of these mods. You can also get more mods from doing board countermeasures, just another one of those kill certain enemies in a certain way to get more mods. Now we get to the heart of the gameplay, this being Jesse's Jedi powers. You can upgrade your health, increase your energy bar, use telekinesis to throw objects, seize enemies, which is just mind control, generate a shield, and levitate. Fun powers to use and great when upgraded, but a total rip-off of a certain other series. I'm not pointing any fingers here, but I think whoever came up with these ideas was watching too many movies of a certain franchise. That's all I'm going to say on the matter. Throughout the game, you'll also get to encounter altered items and objects of power. Now, there are differences between these two things, and to spare myself explaining it in this video, I'll leave that information in the description down below. Some of the fights are great, others are boring. As all hell, I personally found the mirror the best one. Speaking of boring, you can go around getting collectibles like almost every other game in existence, and unless you want to go and read them, there is no reason to go and get them. Gameplay rating, I give it a fair 6 out of 10. I'd probably rate it a bit higher if more imagination was used on the Jedi powers. With the price of this, I'd personally say it's worth about £3. This game has already been given away for free on the PSN Plus subscription in February 2021. Plus, it also was the complete edition. I don't know if that's what it's called, but you get the, I believe, 2 DLC packs along with it. Also, with everything the game has to offer, I can safely say there isn't much reason to pay a lot more than that for it. Anyway, that's all for this review, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day.